welcome to another edition of In the Spotlight with Mayor Jeff Mims. Again, I just say all the time, all my guests are special. So today I have another special guest, Mr. James Bailey. Okay, how you doing?
I couldn't be better, Mayor. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, my pleasure, my pleasure. So one of the things we want to talk about is the constant growth that we have here in the city of Dayton in terms of getting more and more people to move in to stabilize our population. We raised our median income from $28,000 to about $47,000 over the last 10, 12 years. We've led the region in terms of job growth.
Very nice.
And also led the region in terms of billions of dollars invested into not just downtown, city of Dayton, but also into the city of Dayton as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if you read that kind of data before you decide to come into Dayton and to do the kinds of things that you're doing in terms of the Hilton Hotel.
Yes.
That we're going to have as far as the arcade is concerned. Whether you read it or not, I'm glad you're here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And bringing additional dollars in investments as far as the city of Dayton is concerned.
We could not be more excited to be downtown.
Okay.
I am a native Daytonian.
All right.
I grew up on the east side of Dayton.
Okay.
My mom had a deli when I was growing up. I spent a lot of my formative years here downtown.
Okay.
So she worked at the Stouffer's Hotel many years ago. And Yeah, when I was in high school, she opened a deli on First Street called Who's on First. So I'm very familiar with downtown Dayton. My first job in a hotel was actually at the Doubletree across the street from here.
Okay.
And across the street from the arcade. So I worked there as a valet car parker. I worked till midnight every night. And I would look at the arcade and just marvel at the architecture and the history and just think to myself, well, it'd be really neat if somebody would do something with that property. So now for, over 20 years later to be back and be a part of it, it's really special to me. The whole entire development of the arcade and downtown as a whole, I think just speaks volumes to what the city's doing and the attractiveness of the city. I spent the last 10 years following my wife, who was in the Air Force around the country.
Okay.
And she retired in December, so we're happy to be back. But I was down in Tampa. I was working at some really nice luxury hotels. But we wanted to get back to the Midwest. It's a lot less expensive here than it is down in Florida. There's a lot of advantages to being here, but I knew I wanted to be.
We don't have the good weather.
That's the only thing, but they call it a sunshine tax. That's why it costs so much to live down there. But I wanted to be part of a special property, so we looked all across the Midwest: St. Louis, Milwaukee, Chicago, and I felt like the most special property in the nation right now, in my opinion, is what's going on here right across the street at the arcade. Yeah. That building, as you know, dates back to 1904. It's been numerous things. My mom actually worked in the arcade, too, when she was younger. So
you remember the arcade in its heyday?
Yes, I was, a youngster back then. So we came down, and I've walked through those doors many times. Mm-hmm. And to see where it is now versus where it was even, 2-3 years ago is phenomenal.
When I first got on the commission, 2014, I know in terms of talking about that and even being in positions prior to being on the state school board, I knew some developers.
Yeah.
So I guess shortly after I had been elected to the city commission, but I had not yet taken office yet, I was talking to developers about looking at the arcade.
Yes.
Because I had been a part of the fabric of Dayton for, decades. Virtually for the first 2 months of my life, I was in Alabama. But other than that, and the time I spent in the military, I've been right here in downtown Dayton. And so the aspect of thinking about that and how we can move the city forward, those thoughts had my wheels turning, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so I had developers say, very casually, man, I wouldn't touch that arcade with all the tea in China with the longest pole you can find. I would not touch it. That's just a hole that's going to be there.
I heard
you guys
that
may
too.
well just tear that down and make it a parking lot.
Yep.
So getting on the commission and having conversation with my fellow commissioners and then others, looking at what kinds of things were happening as far as the city of Dayton was concerned. And we had gone through some challenging times, if you will, because Ohio had been, I guess, like number one in job losses.
Sure.
Number 49th in job creation. and the aspect of looking at the redlining, looking at cost of living, looking at all types of things that had happened as far as the city of Dayton was concerned, and the communities as well. Led the nation right here in Montgomery County in terms of foreclosure crisis. Led the nation in the predatory lending. So all those negative factors had a major significant negative attitude or contribution as far as that city was concerned.
Absolutely.
And the residents being able to enjoy a high quality of life.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we had developers come in. We had some recommendations about how we can keep it warm, safe, and dry. We put some money into that process while we did some additional investigation to find out, okay, what can we do?
Yeah.
So that process led us to have presentations come from different developers, had us listen to conversations from different funders, and we began to look at tax credits. We began to look at all the types of things that would give us the justification from the community as a whole to say, let's make an investment.
Yes.
And so in terms of doing that, the last thing that you want to have happen is you make an investment and you lose a significant amount of dollars, because we're not playing with our dollars.
Exactly.
We're playing with your dollars or the community's dollars as far as those things are concerned. But actually, one good thing led to another. Then we had developers who had relationships with other developers. We had developers who had relationships with people who were in other cities. We had people who had the relationships with others even in the city in terms of doing some things. And our city manager and her team worked really, really hard in terms of how we can put these pieces together. And they're continuing.
Yeah.
They are continuing. And the aspect of looking at what you're doing, a hotel with 93, 94 rooms, man, that's special for us.
It really is special, and as you know, you were part of it. It takes a whole lot to get a project like this off the ground. And the city of Dayton has been phenomenal to work with thus far. We've got funding from the state, from the city, from the federal level.
Right.
Like I said, it takes a lot to do this, and it takes somebody with a little bit of foresight to see what this can be. And we got lucky with Cross Street Partners out of Baltimore. They kind of took the charge on it. And then my company that I work for, Century Hotel Group, partnered up with Cross Street and said, this would be a great place for a hotel. And as you know, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff happening downtown, just with Water Street, with Crawford Hoying. It just takes a few people to see the potential in any given city, but especially ours, and to be able to make that happen. So, again, being a native Daytonian, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this project and be a part of this. I don't want to call it a revitalization or rejuvenation. I don't know, but the growth of Dayton again. As you know, there's a lot of people moving downtown, and they need amenities. Yeah. So when people are moving downtown and, their family's coming in from out of town, come stay at our hotel. Okay. Come eat at our restaurant. And the arcade as a whole, the arcade is a destination now. It's not just a place to come and grab a bite to eat and leave. Right. There's multiple restaurants in there. We're going to have a restaurant as well, so we'll be serving breakfast and dinner. Okay. We want the guest to enjoy that, but we also want the public to enjoy that. I feel like our hotel is more than a part of the community. I feel like it belongs to the community. Right. And I want the community to feel the same way. I want them to come see it and be a part of it. The history of Dayton, a lot of people, when they talk about the history of Dayton, they talk about the Wright brothers and Paul Lawrence Dunbar and Kettering and all those great innovators. But I feel like this building is a part of the history as much as those people, because a lot of those people probably walked through those doors. Oh, I'm sure they did. Exactly. I'm sure they did at some point in time. So, when we think about those, we talk about those issues, I think about there was this restaurant. It was a seafood restaurant, Charlie's, Old Charlie's. Yeah. I think it was downstairs. I mean, great food, great service, the whole deal. And there was a fish market upstairs where you can come in and buy fresh fish. Yes. And I can recall this one point in time I was walking, down Ludlow. And again, it was open, and I had just come from the doctor, and the doctor was telling me about my cholesterol being higher than it should be. So I walked past the window, and they had this fresh catfish,
in the window. And so I'm talking to the doctor. I give the doctor a call, seriously. And look, because he's telling me not to eat fried food, stay away from all those types of things, the carbs, all that. And so my taste buds began to get the best of me. And so I called him right there. Hey, Dr. Maybach was his name. You know, look, so what if I just ate a little bit of fish?
Just a little bit today, yeah.
So he's telling me, okay, all right, Mr. Mims. Okay, if you're gonna do that, just eat it in moderation. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
But I do recall that real specifically in terms of the conversation I had with him, and just the attractiveness of the way the food was prepared, the way it was laid out. You walk across and sometimes you smell it, because they would do fish. They would cook it on the spot too for you as well. Yeah, and had all the things associated with that. Yeah. And I was brokenhearted when it closed, just like a lot.
Everybody was, yeah.
And I know that when I was on commission, I was one of the few people on the commission who had actually been a part of the heyday, who had seen, and I think Dean Lovelace was the other one, who had seen and been a part of the heyday when we actually had visited, the arcade for that particular reason. So
yeah, and I have the same memories. You know, I'm maybe a couple years younger than you.
Yeah, just a few.
Not too many, but even, you know, the arcade closed in 91, so I was 9 years old.
Okay.
But again, I spent a lot of time down here as a kid. But even when I worked at the DoubleTree across the street, the arcade seafood was still open.
Yes.
And we would go across the street on our lunch break and get the same stuff that you were getting. But everybody I talked to since I've been back to Dayton, so I moved back in November of 24.
Okay.
Everybody I talk to that I tell I'm working at the arcade and managing this property, that everybody has a story about the arcade.
Right.
And even if it's not them, it's their parents. Like I said, my mom worked there. Or like, you know, how you have that, just a very vivid memory of a specific time in that facility, and we're looking to do the same thing. So we have a phenomenal food and beverage staff. So Beth Sparks, another native Daytonian, she's our director of food and beverage. She's working real hard on our menu. We've got a real nice menu picked out for dinner services, but we have specials that we can run every day. So we're going to have something new for our guests, so it's not going to be repetitive. You know, we're right across the street, essentially, from Schuster Center. You can see the doors to the Schuster Center from our restaurant and bar, which is located up on the second floor.
So someone who may come from out of town,
yes,
you know, which Dayton is such a hub right now,
yes,
in terms of the region. So there are people who come in town for the amenities that we have in terms of entertainment, whether it be the Schuster Center. Now we have the Roger Glass Center.
Yeah.
I was at Culture Works this last week. They had a concert this past Thursday. And amazing, because I was one of the artists that played with the band.
Oh, I love it.
I'm a drummer, so I played in the band that Thursday night.
That's
and
amazing.
It's the first time I've done that in decades. Okay.
See, I'm a bass player. We need to get one more. We'll put a little trio together.
Yeah, make it happen. As long as they don't ask me to sing. Okay.
That me either.
Okay,
no, sir.
So we got that part down. So, but so I think about that. So individuals who have the opportunity to come, because we built the first hotel in 25 years in 2014.
Yep.
Okay, across from the ballpark. And to see what we have done in so many parts of downtown and parts of the region is making us a destination where more and more people want to come and spend some time and enjoy some of the things that we have going on here in the city of Dayton.
Absolutely. There's so much stuff to do, like you said, the Roger Glass, the Schuster Center, Victoria Theater. Right. Even going to a baseball game, you know, a Dragons game, make a weekend out of it. If you're coming from Troy or Tip City or Hamilton, come, you know, see the ball game and stay the night. There's tons of breweries, even if it's not at our hotel, which obviously I would prefer it be at our hotel.
Of course.
But you're right. There are a lot of other nice hotels downtown now. And
when I'm talking to some of the groups that are coming in town for a certain reason, of course, I'm always saying to them, stay in Dayton as long as you want.
Exactly.
Spend as much money as you want.
Yes.
If you can't find a place to stay, even with the hotels we got, I got space in my basement.
You got a bed for them?
I got 2 pit bulls, but you can stay.
Will it be safe?
You'll be safe.
I love how much you charging them to stay.
I don't know. We haven't decided yet.
Let me know.
No one's taking me up on that.
We'll come up with a rate for you.
Okay. Yeah, speaking of rate, I noticed that you guys are but you are starting your room prices at $158.
Yeah.
So for those who may not be involved, in hotels and how you determine the rate. What goes into your decision on how to price the rentals of your rooms?
Absolutely. It's actually a pretty in-depth decision. We have meetings once a week with a number of people involved in the hotel, from ownership to Hilton to on-property level associates, and we discuss at length what the best rates are going to be, right? So, we want to obviously stay affordable, and we also, we have to maximize our revenues as well. So it's a simple supply and demand situation, but also we don't want to what we call peak, right? So if there's a big event on a Saturday, but guests only want to stay Friday, that might not necessarily be the best for us. So we may ask that they stay Friday and Saturday, so we get a full weekend out of them. Because as you said, it's a pretty significant investment for us. But it's a fine line, right? Because you can't overprice yourself. You want to be fair, but also, hotels don't have a whole lot of margin, so we got to get as much as we can to bottom line to sustain, this hotel and other hotels, because there is still need for more hotels in the market. As you know, the Dayton Vitality should be opening up soon, connected to the convention center.
Right. That's
going to be huge for the city. I think it'll be a lot easier for everybody over at the convention center when they have that piece
connected right
back
there.
Up. Yeah, exactly.
So over the years, and I've been in different positions, into professional positions over the decades, and some required me to travel a lot. And when I was a lobbyist, both for the National Education Association, the Ohio Education Association, the Dayton School Board, and even working with the Annie Casey Foundation, there are different things in terms of different rates.
Yeah.
So there are business rates.
Yes.
There are rates that they would call maybe government rates for those individuals who work for the government. And there's just a regular average rate.
Yes.
And then again, if you're working with Travelocity or some of those other type of travel organizations, how challenging is it sometimes to balance out those rates?
It really is.
And give people an opportunity to be fair.
Exactly.
And like the commercials are saying, well, why this guy got a rate cheaper than the rate that I have? Okay?
Yeah. And I will tell you, the best rate you're always going to get is directly through the hotel.
Okay.
So call the hotel directly or book through our online channel through Hilton.com.
Okay.
Because also if you sign up for our rewards program, Hilton Honors, you automatically get a discount there.
Okay.
And then if you book with us, if you stay for longer, the rate will go down a little bit for you. If you are with a company, check with them, because a lot of those will work directly with the company to come up with the rate that best suits their needs and our needs. So all the companies that are here downtown, we've already been in contact with them to get the best rates for them. And like I said, it's when you book those third-party companies like Expedia or Travelocity, they're great companies, but we're going to match those prices anyway.
Okay.
So if you find a rate on Travelocity for $149, but for whatever reason we're selling at $159, we'll give you that $149 rate.
Okay.
Yeah, just give us a call, look on our website, and sign up for Hilton Honors and get that discount. Yeah.
Okay. I know. So as we talk about how we have in Dayton moved from a situation where we did not have as much downtown traffic on a positive basis, how downtown in the past was considered to be not as clean or as safe as we would like for it to be.
Sure.
How much did that play into your decision to help and locate here, and also to be a part of some of the growth that we have as far as the city is concerned?
That didn't affect me personally at all.
Okay.
I had opportunities in other cities
Okay.
to actually, make a little bit more money, if I'm being honest. But it wasn't about that to me. It was about, again, being a part of something special in this property. And every downtown will have its issues with things like that. But again, I think that you and the previous mayors have done a great job. I come downtown every day at 8 a.m. Actually, I get here around 7:30.
Okay.
I leave the hotel around 6:30 at night, and I walk right by the hotel. Okay. And it's everybody's friendly to me down here.
Yeah.
And it feels welcoming to me. So I think again that we're moving in the right direction with the Dan U Tower right behind us, all the residents going in there, there's, places to live downtown, so many places and so many good people down here with the restaurants that are in the arcade. The more people that come down here, the better it is, the safer it feels, the more vibrant it is, and it's good for the city.
Yeah. And it seems like we have not had any individual say no to downtown.
No.
We have a challenge or two that we're working on, and those are always issues that
Absolutely.
you're working on in any city.
Yeah.
In terms of how you're making things happen. So I know being in a meeting earlier today, working with Downtown Dayton Partnership, and we're talking about these different surveys
Yes.
that we're in the process of developing and taking to find out not just what's making people want to come downtown now and spend time, but how can we improve upon that? How can we increase the numbers of people who are coming from anywhere from Springfield to Springboro, coming to downtown Dayton, bringing their families, spending money, and like I say, staying as long as you want.
Exactly.
So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know downtown Dayton, we've been working on that for a while.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing I like about being back in Dayton. It feels like a community. So I lived everywhere from Louisville to Tampa. I've worked from Napa to South Carolina and everywhere in between. And Dayton always feels like a community to me. All those other places, they're great places to live. They've got good weather. They got this. They got wine, whatever it is. But the people in Dayton always feel like they have the best interest of Dayton in mind.
Okay.
And I feel like every time I come back here, like I said, I was gone for 10 years, and I came back in November, and I went to the first meeting with Destination Dayton.
Okay.
And it felt like I never left. And that's why I knew, like, okay, I made the right decision to come back here. And it shows with your administration and putting out those surveys with the Downtown Dayton Partnership. I feel like this administration and the city, they value the businesses' opinions and input. So I think it's a great thing that you're doing. I filled out one of those surveys, actually, and put it in the box. Yeah.
Okay.
But, to me, it's all about how the city welcomes their businesses. Again, the city of Dayton could not be better to work with for us. So I encourage anybody who's looking to open a business. We've got 10 retail spaces on the first floor of the North Arcade that are available. 5 of them are spoken for already, but there's a few left. So, if you're thinking about opening a business, Dayton's the place to do it. It's a great community to be in and a great city to collaborate with, and I couldn't speak more highly of it.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier, Cross Street Partners.
Yeah.
David and those guys are doing a good job as well.
Great job.
Of course, you have Scott, who's doing a lot of work down there. We've listened to developers. One of the big developers who works with the Brookings Institute, for example, Bruce Katz, has talked about looking at Dayton and looking at the arcade. It's probably one of the most transformative projects that has gone on in the nation, in terms of how we create that opportunity for more and more businesses to move in, like you're talking about right now. Just in the last, I'm not sure, 5-6 years that we've been, moving, if you will, in terms of that space. Having those developers and businesses come in. Of course, we had maybe 1 or 2 that have come and gone. Okay, things did not work out for them, but we've had almost instantly replacement. In terms of those things that are happening, with more and more on the waiting list. So having the Urban League, Table 33, I know Gather. I know I'm going to lose some because I'm going to probably stop before
6 Triple A.
6 Triple A is another. In terms of those things that are happening, why so? I mean, so many great things happening in that space. That you can come downtown, and walk in the rotunda there, and then have choices where you want to eat, what you want to eat, and soon where you want to stay, and how long you want to stay, and then looking at people that are going back and forth, because Right Pat has a space down there as well, and trying to continue that movement of getting more and more people who are working at Right Pat to move more and more of their facilities right there in that space.
Exactly.
Even having some top secret stuff. I mean, so there are things that are going on right here in the city of Dayton that so many people just are not aware of.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I have found out too since I've been back.
Yes.
Just in the hub and the offices that are located in there, like Infinity Labs, and just a lot of people. And we've been in talk with them too. You're coming to Dayton. Say you're coming from, I don't know, Edwards Air Force Base, and you have to come to Dayton to go to Wright-Patterson. Yeah, you can stay out in Fairborn or Beaver Creek, and I'm sure you'll have a really nice stay.
Yeah.
But why would you not want to come downtown and, again, have all these options? It's like you said, there's art galleries with the Contemporary and Dana Wiley and all those. So you can, at my hotel, I've been telling people, you can have breakfast, lunch, or dinner at a different restaurant in the same day and not leave one roof.
Yeah.
And at the hotels that I was working at in Tampa, we had those same amenities, but they were luxury hotels, and that came with the premium. We were charging anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 a night for a hotel room for these amenities. Yeah. And here you get that. So I've been calling it 5-star amenities at a 3-star price.
Okay.
So come see it. They were nice hotels. They won't be as nice as ours or as unique as ours, but it is truly special. And there'll be a hair and nail salon going down there on the first floor. So again, that's another 5-star amenity that is right across the hallway from us. So it's a destination now. Like I said, Dayton isn't a place to just come, see the play, and go back home. Like, stay, have a drink before or after the show, or have dinner, or stay the night. Maybe if you've got kids, you can find somebody to watch them and get a night away. We'll have room service in the hotel too. So if you don't want to come down to the restaurant, call us. We'll bring it up to you.
And that's special. That's
it
special.
Is. It really is.
So, as we have sometimes this conflict, while it's still going on, going to be going on for quite a while. Individuals who are maybe not living downtown and maybe don't visit downtown as much, as more and more of them begin to come downtown to see some of the kinds of things that we have in here, it's important for them to understand that the types of dollars that we generate from downtown, the types of dollars that we spend in downtown are putting us in a better position to have an increased contribution to our tax base.
Yes.
Income tax for people who live outside of Dayton but come into Dayton and spend money.
Yep.
And we're in a position to spend more of those dollars into developing opportunities as far as our neighborhoods are concerned.
Absolutely.
So it's a win-win for all of us when those things are happening.
Couldn't agree more. And it's just like you said, job creations downtown. We're going to have about 50 employees at our hotel. Yeah, that's no small number of people, in my opinion, and they're going to come down, they're going to park every day, and they're going to eat lunch. Yep. And our guests, not only, are they going to pay our room rates, but they're going to pay for parking as well. We're actually in talks to use the garage connected here to the City Hall for our parking. So, it's a snowball effect. The more people you have down here, the more money is being spent, and it'll just continue to grow. So, if our 50 employees come down and the Hotel Ardent, which is a nice property, they probably got about 50 employees as well, maybe more. So that's over 100 more people just in the beginning of this year looking for more places to eat and park and stuff like that when they're downtown every day.
Okay. So I just got to sign. We got probably about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So I just want to say real quickly, again, the aspect of what we have been able to produce, again, with your partnership and the partnership of so many others, is something that's going to benefit Dayton on a continuous basis. And to, again, as you mentioned, give us another opportunity to have people come downtown Dayton, where we live, work, play, be educated, raise a family, and grow old.
Absolutely.
And that's my message. That's my message to the community, and that's my message to those who are outside the spectrum of Dayton. Continue to help me raise my medium income, because if we raise the medium income as far as Dayton is concerned, we raise the quality of life. Absolutely. And it's all connected.
Couldn't agree more.
So I really want to thank you for your part. Okay. At first I thought, man, we were talking so fast, trying to get so much in. We really got a lot of it in. Okay?
We did.
So thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you.
Really appreciate you being
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks for the time.
Again. Okay. All right. Okay. And thank you for watching another edition of In the Spotlight with Mayor Jeff Mims and my guest, James Bailey. Thank you again for being here.
Thanks, Mayor.
Okay.